Great to see you guys. I'm just here to connect with my community. Hello, Margaret. Thank you for saying hello. Anybody can write a comment. I'd love to see you here. I'd love to read your comments. Hi, AJ Sendell. Great to see you. I'm just here to connect with my community. You guys inspire me so much, so much. So I needed a little inspiration today, so I came on and I was inspired right when I woke up today by Nick G, a dude on the couch. I don't know if he'll join me, but I saw his live this morning and it was a great way to wake up. The reason I come to social media is to stay sane. And my Substack community is the way that I stay okay. Um, I find people on Substack telling the truth about things, understanding reality. I'm also on Blue Sky, and I find that there are a lot of people on Blue Sky who are fully out of touch with reality. Hi, Mark. Thanks for joining. I'll try to say your name for anyone who joins, and anything you want to tell me in the comments, I'll read aloud and I'll comment back. Hi, David. Great to see you. Thanks so much for all your support and solidarity every day. I appreciate it so much. Um, I wasn't feeling well for a while, so I haven't been on in a while. Hi, Epic Fluffy. I just loved what I wrote of yours. Epic Fluffy is saying, you are far more soft spoken than I expected from your posts. Well, I am talking a little softer because if I talk too loud, other people in my house will hear me, and they don't need to hear all this. I save this for you guys. But I have a low voice that a lot of people say is kind of calming. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Michelle, and I'm a therapist. And apparently, people like the sound of my voice. So, okay, Mark is telling me I forgot about Blue Sky. I'll revisit it. Well, you don't have to. Stay on Substack because people on Blue Sky are kind of in denial. They're not in touch with reality, and there's a lot of um, I don't want to say hate, but a lot of bad vibes that I get from being more of a leftist and no longer a liberal. I don't want to really want to talk too much about labels in a way because that's what divides us. And really, we're a lot more alike than people think. One of the things that I really want people to know. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining, Collector of Books. Hi, Jean Holmes. Great to see you. Feel free to comment, anyone, and I'll read it aloud and respond. But what I want to say, at least for this moment, is that before all of these sociopaths of this regime were getting so much attention, I think most people understood that the majority of us are good people. It's just that these sociopaths are taking up so much space. They're taking up so much time and energy. They get all the press, they own all the media companies, and this sociopathic, truly destructive, deadly agenda is it's been normalized. So at this point, I think a lot of people they don't trust each other. There's a lot more hate in the world. But if you really think about it, most of us are empathic, loving people. Um, I know that's not true for every community. I know that sometimes, based on where you live, you might be around a lot of people who are really vicious or racist or sexist. I get that. I happen to live in New Jersey. I've lived mostly on the East Coast, up north. So I know I have a lot of privilege in being around people that maybe are less outwardly vicious, racist people. But think about it. The human body, the human mind, we are not built to hate and kill. Is that part of the human biology and psyche and human nature? Yes. But before all this was going on, most people would say, oh, the sociopaths are a small percentage of the population. It seems like nowadays people think that it's the majority. Um, Let's even look at the election of 2024. It was completely manipulated, you guys. I hope you know that since the beginning of this country, literally, since the inception of this country, our elections have been manipulated. Is that something you'd be willing to believe? I think it's easy to believe. Think about it. At the beginning of our country, only white landowners, men, were allowed to vote. And in every generation after that, there's been people whose vote has been not allowed or completely suppressed. So, for example, right now we have the largest prison population on the globe, right? Well, it's mass voter suppression. None of them are allowed to vote. Why not? They live in government housing. They're eating the government food. They should have a right to vote. But nope, you're a felon. You're in prison. You don't get to vote. Sometimes people released from prison can't even vote, right? This is one of the many ways that they suppress our vote. Gerrymandering is voter suppression. Purged voter rolls is voter suppression. Now they want to pass the SAVE Act, and they probably will, and that will make voter suppression even more obvious. Okay? So when people think that, Trump won the election, he actually really didn't. There was a lot of voter suppression. Oh, another thing, the Electoral College. It's very easy to manipulate the Electoral College. And I'm pretty sure Elon Musk did it. He's admitted it on camera many times. So I guess the point of what I'm saying is thank goodness for you guys on Substack because that's how I can stay aware. There's wonderful people, brilliant people in this country. And me personally, I believe we have everything we need to depose this regime. It's going to be very difficult. I think it might even take generations. I might not even be alive when it happens, but Americans, we're loving, we're brilliant, we're experienced, and the history of our country is one of revolution. So that's what I'm about. I'm about connecting with the community here and in my daily life, as many people as I can to let them know that I'm not afraid. I'm never going to stop fighting. And that for now and for the rest of my life, I am going to talk about revolution. And what that means to me is cultural revolution, social revolution, economic revolution, is it gonna be a violent revolution? I mean, it already is. I'm not one who could lead potentially any military actions, but, I can help lead, in my community. I can help people help each other and support each other. I'm a social worker. I've been a social worker, I was realizing today, for almost 30 years, and I have worked in some of the most oppressed violent communities in the nation, one of them, the South Bronx, and, I loved the people, and they loved me. I'm not afraid of poor people. I'm not afraid of anybody in a marginalized community. In fact, I think that there's brilliance and love and, exactly what we need coming out of any community in this nation. Um, Unfortunately, we're a highly oppressed nation. We're a very brainwashed nation, and we always have been because the wealthy hoarders of wealth, they own the media companies, they own the elections, they own the political parties, and so they distort and manipulate reality. So when I come to Substack and I see people writing, oh my God, I can name so many people, um, many people who are even probably here today. Let me say hi to more people. Hi, G. Great to see you. I love your music and all your work. Epic Fluffy. This tracks. Haha. I love it. Margaret Williams. Heart. Thank you. I accept your love and I return it. Um, Mark Grisky, you should do hypnotherapy with your voice. Hey, maybe I have a side gig. I could pick up because in this economy, oh, we need all the work we can get. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't even have health insurance, you guys, because I have a private practice and I used to have the Obamacare ACA and not have to pay a big premium. But oh, what happened? That's out the door with this new regime. So I decided to pay privately for my health care, even though it sucks. But that's cheaper for my particular situation than paying a monthly premium. Hi, Voltaire's Kitchen. I love your work. Hi, Blackburn. Thank you for joining. David Morris is giving me affirmation by saying, yup. Jeff Blackburn, definitely manipulated. Thank you. Yes, we're a highly manipulated country. Epic Fluffy, 100%, three-fifths compromise and such. Yes, we're talking about voter suppression. That was a great example. And that was from inception, right? That's right when, our country was being founded. So let me just try to see more. Hi, Red Leader. I love your work. Okay. Red Leader's telling me, thank you for the update, because this is how I get my news. Ceasefire over, Hormuz is shut. You guys, you can never believe anything about a ceasefire, okay? These sociopaths, they don't believe in it. They'll tell you there's a ceasefire, but you got to look at their actions. Israel kept saying over and over that there was a ceasefire with Hamas in Gaza. It was never a ceasefire. They kept bombing and bombing and bombing. So please, let's get our information from each other. Let's get our information from our common sense. Let's get our information from our intuition. If you feel something in your gut, you're probably right. Okay. Let's get our information from, again, our community. Don't look at mainstream media and don't even look at a lot of the liberal media. Okay. I hate to tell you, Nick G, dude on the couch, was talking about it this morning. MSNBC, people used to really trust Rachel Maddow. And I was saying today, I used to really trust Heather Cox Richardson, but the liberal media just regurgitates the narrative. Okay. The narrative about Trump making all of these decisions, that's just fucking bullshit, you guys. Okay. Trump is a puppet. He is an asset. And he is like the last part of Project 2025, not the first part. Project 2025, that started in some people say 71, 81. The Heritage Foundation was formed in the 1970s. And in 1981, they wrote Mandate for Leadership. Project 2025 is the ninth version of the Heritage Foundation's Mandate for Leadership. This is nothing new. Okay. It was hidden from us. Who hid it? The media, the Democrats, uh, everybody. Okay. It's been around. Did you guys know that Obamacare was originally formulated, the model, by the Heritage Foundation? Did you know that? It's true. Hi, Emmett. Great to see you. Oh yeah, Epic Fluffy is telling me dozens of fake counties. I'm pretty sure you're talking about the 2024 election. Yes, there was fake counties. Um, there were real irregularities with vote counting. In fact, there were security experts that wrote to the Biden admin prior to the election to alert them to the insecurities of voting machines. Did you guys know that half the voting machines in our country, they were formerly called Dominion, the same company that sued Fox News and won? Did you guys know that those machines were bought by a MAGA operative? Okay, our voting machines are not secure. Um, Christopher Armitage did a great piece, I think it was back in December, talking about literally a timeline of all of the things that happened prior to the 2024 election to fuck with it. So yes, this regime is not legitimate. This regime was installed, and it was installed by the plutocrats, the kleptocrats. Okay. That's what our country has been all along. This was never really a representative democracy. Okay. The people in office have always been bought and purchased by the very wealthy. Okay. So we, the people, we have to come together in numbers way too big for them to control. Like through a general strike, that would be great. Can we shut down their economy? Can we shut down their fascist economy? That could actually have an impact. But in order to do something like that, guess what? We have to take care of each other first. Because if people aren't going to show up for their job, they're not going to get paid. How are they going to eat? Well, people used to have cooperation, cooperative communities, right? Like, money is something that was created, right? People used to barter and trade, right? With the introduction of private property and money, you know, shit got taken away from us. So we have to find a way to recreate these alternative markets so that we don't need the money. I know it sounds crazy, but again, we're brilliant. If we come together, we can create alternative markets. We can create education systems. We can create healthcare. We have the skills, and we can use our own messaging. And they use propaganda, and we could have as strong and as powerful messages as they do, but we all have to get on the same page first. And if people think that an election is going to save us, that's a big problem. Okay. Mark Grisky's asking, this is a great question. Can you tell me, where did the name gerrymandering come from? Was it from a person? I don't know. Please tell me if you have info. Thank you for the salute, Emmett Tatter. Mark A. DeMattia joined. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. David Morris is telling me, we did it once, but then we became apathetic. Are you talking about a revolution? Um, Tell me more. How I see people is I see them as struggling to barely survive. For example, people are mad that a certain subset of Americans didn't vote. I'm not actually mad at them. What I see is that people who don't vote, by and large, are the most oppressed, poorest, most struggling people in the nation. And this is one of the ways also that they suppress our vote. They don't give us paid time off to vote. So if you have to go to work, um, and you're not going to get paid otherwise, and you can't eat otherwise, like, you can't necessarily vote. Um, so, I don't necessarily see the masses as apathetic. I just see them as barely struggling or barely surviving, struggling to survive day to day. Hi, Lana. Great to see you. Zeke is asking, did anyone answer where did gerrymandering come from yet? Because I can, but I had to log back in. I don't think so. So let me know. And if you answer a second time, that's okay too. Emmett Tatter is saying there are some great books on social work in that area. Well, that's great. I have loved being a social worker, both as a therapist and as a community organizer. It's been a great career for me. Do I get paid a lot? Not so much. I have been making about the same amount of money for at least a decade, and the price of living has only gone up. So I love my career. I love what I do. I love connecting with people. But I learned that having a master's degree and becoming very educated is not necessarily related to being able to do well financially. I'm Gen X, and what we were told is to do something you love. And I love people. So I studied psychology and then social work, and I don't regret it at all. But I did believe that by doing what I was asked to do and going to school and getting an education, that I would be able to at least have a comfortable life. And the reality is, I am deeply in debt. And although I look middle class, although we can look middle class when we're very deeply in debt, we're still living in poverty. I'm very grateful for what I have. I'm very grateful that I can pay rent. But I have a network, a social network with my family, luckily, and my friends, and I've had to ask for help many times in my life, and I'm not afraid to ask for help. Okay, Mark Risky is telling me I'm a liberal gun owner, but hope I'll never need to use it. But this world is nuts now. And I also have bears and lions here in Colorado mountains. I have not become a gun owner yet. I did get my license to become a gun owner here in New Jersey. But honestly, it's expensive. Becoming armed is expensive. And I'm going to be moving to a state. for, a cheaper place to live because somebody made a great offer about me to live in their house and help take care of it. And, the state has less strict gun laws, and I would like to become a gun owner. And, it's only because we're all under threat. I never thought about owning a gun before because I didn't necessarily know I would need one. But this is a right we still happen to have. It might be gone soon, honestly, and I would like to arm myself and learn how to use a gun and be a safe gun owner and I heard we gotta get lots of ammo. I heard it's not enough to have a gun. You gotta have a lot of ammo. So this is one of my goals, but I haven't had the financial resources to do so yet. Um, Hi, Ian. Great to see you. Jeff is saying, I can't tolerate the wealthy and the right wing ruining the country, moving to Mexico. That's smart. If people can leave the country, I respect it. It's expensive for a lot of people. A lot of people are trapped. A lot of people are trapped just within their state. They can't even move out of their state. The red states, you guys, they have been under authoritarian control now for generations. When I said, our elections are not free and fair, they never have been, but all you have to really do is look at the red states, okay? They've been living without basic freedoms for a very long time, and people of color in this country, poor people, they know that elections are not free and fair. They're already aware, they're not represented. Um, if elections were free and fair, we might have seen some people, working class people, be in office, but you gotta have a lot of money. And speaking of that, that is why so many people accept, because of our campaign financing laws, people can accept these donations from foreign lobbies and corporations, right? This changed a lot in 2010 with the Citizens United ruling where, guess what? Unlimited, unlimited. That's ridiculous. Campaign donations could be given. Well, people say, well, then they shouldn't take that money. I guess that money is too hard to pass up because 98% of the Congress is owned by the pro Israel lobby. Okay. Um, People like AOC and I think Ro Khanna and, let me try to think of some other people. There's so few of them that don't take the corporate lobby money or the foreign lobby money. They do grassroots fundraising. Amazing. But the majority of people, that would never work. I happen to have been working in the Bronx when AOC was running, and I got to help be a part of the campaign and, you know, uh, to door knocking. And, I did all of that stuff in the city, you guys. I don't just talk shit. I've been a community organizer. I've campaigned for local candidates. I'm all about it. I even ran for a local race. I was elected to the most local level in New York City. It's called county committee. I was all about elections. I was all about it. But now I've seen clearly after the 2024 election when you could really tell that the election was compromised. First of all, Elon Musk, he bought the fucking election. He had a goddamn 1 million a day lottery that the Supreme Court let him get away with. It was so manipulated. And when the Democrats didn't say shit about it after like an entire Stop the Steal campaign in 2020 and a whole insurrection that not one person questioned any of the elections in 2024, even though there were all these irregularities, that is finally, I'm so embarrassed to say, that is finally when I realized, oh, this shit is irreparable. None of these elections are going to get us out of this. So now I understand that organizing outside of the electoral process is the only thing that can help us survive this authoritarian regime. So that's what I'm about. Let's see what other people are saying here. Thank you for your comments, Emmett. Yes, we do. Epic Fluffy, haha, get that bag. Mark Grisky, yup, I did music for a living, and that means you need to have a side hustle. And I also worried about indie. Yep. Yeah, we gotta have side hustles. Not everything we love can bring us money, especially nowadays as they're eliminating jobs. Um, okay, Emmett Tatter, they must hit me up with voter fraud. It was such BS. Such BS. David Morris, thank you for your affirmation. Imagine that. Epic Fluffy, Israel's version of a ceasefire is you cease, we fire. Ooh, that is good. That could be a t-shirt. And now it's the USA too, okay? Because we're the ones who supplied all the weapons too. Mega Dude joined. Thank you so much. Oh, Mark Grisky is clarifying his Indie Mint insurance. Okay, I got it. Thank you for clarifying, though. Henry, thank you for joining. David Morrison, a putz and a patsy. Are you talking about Trump? Are you talking about Trump? I think you could be. Puppet, asset, hired to play a role. That's it. He's not the brain. He's not the brains behind the operation. No way. He is installed to be the distraction. He's installed to manipulate reality. He's installed because he was so easy to buy off. They started recruiting this motherfucker back in the 80s for this shit. He's known to be a Russian asset. Somebody wrote a great article about that on Substack. I wish I remembered who it was. MJ Cook joined. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you guys here. Red Leader. Oh, verifying that yes, Obamacare was in fact a Republican healthcare plan. That's right. And Mitt Romney tried it out first in Massachusetts. Okay. Okay. Mark Ritzky, yes, fake president. Thank you. Totally illegitimate. This entire regime. Epic Fluffy, thank you. Affirmations, all facts. Um, BH question mark P51 joined. How are you? Great to see you. All right, let me just see. David Fike, Voltaire's Kitchen. Trump is the result of conformity and acceptance to a dysfunctional system of government. Voltaire's Kitchen, you always speak the truth. I love it. I love it. Okay, bye, David Morris. I'll see you soon. AJ Sendal. Here in the UK, many people who go into politics with honesty and good intentions, but most hit a ceiling beyond which only the corruptible can pass. Is this the same in the US? And if so, where is that point in the political chain? This is a great question. Um, I think at the local level, most people go into it with good intentions. I think with Congress, so every 2 years, every representative goes through another election. So I think the biggest issue is campaign financing. So to keep your seat in the House of Representatives, it's like the campaigning starts immediately. So when corporations and foreign lobbies were allowed, they used to be only allowed to um, give a certain amount of money. Then in 2010, by the formation of political action committees and super PACs, unlimited donations could flow in. Now, why does that matter? Because people aren't always paying attention. Why? Because they're working, not because they're apathetic. They're working. And so then campaign season arises. And so the campaign money is used for ads. And it's used to put people on TV and say, vote for this person. And it's also used to say, this person is no good and don't vote for this person. And so what some people say, and I really like it, is that we don't have elections, we have selections. I love that. Why? Because the candidates are already kind of chosen ahead of time by whoever gets the most money. And then we go to the polls and maybe we heard someone's name or we got a flyer or we saw a commercial on TV. And so then we remember that and that's who we vote for. So whoever has the most campaign money is generally who wins the election. Now, here's a great example. Um, Adam Schiff. Okay. He's a Democrat. He's in California. He was a representative and he became a senator. Well, why did he win the race? He got millions and millions of dollars from the pro-Israel lobby. And if you go to Track APAC, I love Track APAC, the website, you can see how much money is given to specifically the Democratic candidates. Now, they fund both parties, so that should make you think if both parties are taking the same money from the same funders, how can they really be on different teams? That just doesn't make any sense. But who's funded even more by the pro-Israel lobby? The Democrats. The Democrats get actually more money than Republicans. So the pro-Israel lobby is the top funder of the Democratic primary races. So what was going on earlier in the last couple years since 2024? Primary them all. It was a slogan. It was a theme. Well, the primaries are going on right now. Who's winning? The candidates that are backed by the pro-Israel lobby. Why? Because they are giving millions of dollars for their preferred candidates. I live in New Jersey. The new governor used to be a representative. Her name's Mikey Sherrill. She's funded by the pro-Israel lobby. Her seat was up for a special election. The progressive candidate who won, she's a Latina, she was backed by the pro-Israel lobby, and she got $2 million. Well, let me tell you something, you guys. You cannot be progressive and be funded by the pro-Israel lobby who is committing genocide, okay? The Democrats back the Israel agenda. When Biden was in office, they sent weapons, right? Bombs that literally incinerated people on contact. Um, both of these parties support the Israel agenda. Look what's happening right now in Iran. Benjamin Netanyahu, Satan Yahoo, he has been lobbying our Congress for decades to go to a war with Iran. Well, now we are. Israel and the USA, they have a um, reciprocal relationship that is very destructive to the globe. And both parties are really very similar in a lot of ways. It's just that people are manipulated more by the Democrats because they say nice things. They say nice things. I thought people knew already that politicians lie. They're fucking liars, okay? They can say anything they want, but you gotta look at their actions. And if they're taking millions of dollars from the pro-Israel lobby, then they back Israel's agenda. And they have a fascist regime over there, just like our fascist regime here. Let's see what other people are saying. Hi, John Dean. Oh, bring hope. Thank you so much for joining. I have loved your messages and the care that you showed for me when I was not feeling well. Hi, Beach Palma. Hi, Stefan. Great to see you again. Hi, Kelly Roy. Okay, David Morris is educating me. Thank you so much. Gerrymandering is a combination of a guy named Jerry and a salamander back in the 1800s. It began because of the shape of the districts that were formed. I don't remember Jerry's last name. Is that true? Is it true? I mean, it definitely makes sense. Gerrymandered districts are like that. You know, that has been a highly effective form of voter suppression, you guys. You know, and that's why I was really pissed when the fight fire with fire ideology came up after the 2024 election and the best ideas coming out of the Democratic states was to gerrymander. I don't believe in gerrymandering by anybody. because it's voter suppression. So if the California wants to gerrymander, the only thing that's going to do is ignite war, because then those Republicans that are not represented in their districts, who definitely have a lot of guns, they are going to be activated in their terrorist cells. So I am, like, gerrymandering is voter suppression, period, point blank. So if the Democrats believe in democracy, they wouldn't be suggesting it. We got to be way more innovative than that. But they're not going to be. Red leader, third parties are locked out for voting. Does voting for two candidates with the same outcome really voting? Thank you very much for saying that. Third party voters did not cause this, you guys. Okay, I hear a lot of people on Blue Sky blaming third party voters. That was propaganda that I believed at one point too. I'm not gonna lie. But let me tell you, it's a democracy, supposed to be. So people are allowed to vote their conscience. They're allowed to vote for anyone they fucking want. If people are saying only vote for blue, I don't know if they really believe in democracy. It's campaign financing that is the problem. It's not the voters. Okay. We didn't put this guy into office. We're not even to blame. Even those MAGA sheep, they're not even to blame. They're just poor, brainwashed, oppressed people. Now, do I like them? Am I friends with them? Do I understand why people hate them? I do understand why people hate them. But they are there to legitimize what happened. If people think that this was voted into office, then the voters can be blamed when actually it's the plutocrats, the people who own the political parties, the people who own the media, right? If people believe this is a representative democracy, which it's not, it's a plutocracy, it's a kleptocracy. But if people believe it's a democracy, then the people of the country are blamed. And that's just not the case. You can judge people that they voted for a rapist, pedophile, insurrectionist, felon. Okay, you can judge them. But who was convincing them that this was an okay candidate? The media, Fox News, their pastor at church. They were hearing who to vote for. So me, personally, I blame the brainwashers and the oppressors. I don't blame the oppressed and the brainwashed. I'm really sorry. Apparently there's noise out my window and you might be able to hear it. Okay, Mark is affirming my reality too. I have 12 years college, a master's, but had no impact on my salary. That's exactly right. We did everything we were asked to do. Okay. We paid our taxes for what? For our taxes to go to make war on innocent people and drop bombs? This shit is fucked up, you guys. Okay, Voltaire's Kitchen is giving me, I think, the real deal. Massachusetts Governor Eldridge Gerry in 1812. That's where gerrymandering comes from. Thank you. So it's not from Jerry and a salamander. I'll have to let David know. Hi, Nicholas. Thank you for joining. Mark is saying, regarding guns, taking a concealed carry course is a great way to get in-depth education about guns and gun laws. Okay, I'm open to suggestions. I love community education. George joined. Thank you so much. Hey, Sarabella, great to see you. She's telling me most take corporate money. They don't want to work for the people. That's right. They don't. They don't want to work for the people. Man with no name joined. Thank you so much. Bryant T joined. He's giving me affirmation. 100%. Okay. Emmett Tatter is saying, whoops, they hit me up with voter fraud in Florida. It was horrible. Oh my God, voter fraud. Absolutely. Okay, let me just say hello to a few more people before I have to go because pretty soon I have my next client. So I want to say hi to Paul Chittister, thanks for joining. John Price, thank you. Ben Foxworth, great to see you. Everything in moderation, thank you. Ann Gallagher, David Morris, thanks again for being here. Okay, John Price, I agree. Finally realizing you are so right about APAC. This is incredibly horrific stuff. Corruption, corruption, money, money, money. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Bryant T, vote blue no matter who won't save us. Thank you. Propaganda, you guys. Propaganda. Oh, David, you were correcting yourself, or you were actually telling me the truth. Secondly, 1812, Eldridge Gerry. That's how we have to know now about you guys. Gerrymandering. Massachusetts governor, a political cartoon was published coining the term gerrymander. I see. So that salamander part, is that part of the political cartoon? Let me know. Snarky Von Plinsky joined. Thank you so much. Bailey Williamson, AJ Sendal. He said, thanks for answering. The wealthy will never act for the poor. It's not as bad here. Individual candidates have local limits, typically around 17,000 to 20,000 for the short campaign period, depending on the size and type of constituency. Yeah, one more thing I'll say about that. So senators are elected every 6 years. Okay. And if you look at our senators, they are entrenched and enriched. Some of these people have been in office for decades and they have really harmed our country. Look at Mitch McConnell, right? Look at Mitch McConnell. He's a great example. He has really harmed this country. That's another point I want to make, you guys. People think the Democrats can't do anything because they're in the minority. Have you been paying attention to what the Republicans do when they're in the minority? There are plenty of political mechanisms that can be utilized by the party in the minority. We got to stop thinking that either political party is going to help us, going to save us. Oh, hell no. The only people that can save us is us. The only people that can save us is us coming together in numbers way too big for them to control. General strike, like I said, but we have to learn how to take care of each other first. Okay, shutting down the economy, mass movements of civil disobedience. That is the only way. Revolution is what I want to call it. That is the only way. You think this guy is going to leave office? He could die. They're still going to stay in office. They got JD Vance. Okay, they got Erica Kirk. They're going to probably make her the VP. They have a succession plan. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, they're not going anywhere. Um, you guys, I had such a great time with you today, and I will be back whenever I can be. I really mean it. I appreciate you. You keep me sane. You keep me going. I could not keep doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So I will see you very soon. I love you. I mean it. I mean it. I do. I love you. See you soon. Mwah. Bye.